Yesterday, I watched a man after the bombing of a hospital in Gaza. I watched a man carry his children in waste bags because there was not enough of his children and they weren't in one piece, so he could not carry them contiguously. I watched a father carry the bags of his own children because a hospital had been blown up by Israel. The U.S. State Department does not and will not care about Palestinian lives because the United States needs, it thinks, a defensible ally in the Middle East so that they can combat terrorism. When in reality, we all know that the United States, the UK, and other colonial powers are really, truly the terrorists in this world. Joe Biden has said on 2 separate occasions that I could find clips for that if Israel did not exist, they would have to invent an Israel, which means that the U.S. State Department would, regardless of Israel's existence, attempt to set up a pro-Western hegemony state in the Middle East. Also, after World War II, when all of the Jewish people were being sent to Israel, it was done so that the European powers and the Western powers did not have to deal with taking care of a large Jewish population after the horrible events that happened to them during World War II. The U.S. has knowingly allowed a right-wing, fanatical, fascist government to spread, to take foot in Israel, which is not surprising because the U.S. funded and continues to fund a settler colonial project whose explicit goals is the genocide and removal of the Palestinian people. So while we are all sitting here in the U.S. without healthcare, without free access to education, without many people the basic necessities for life, the United States is funding Israel to have all of those. The U.S. funds the Israelis to have healthcare. The U.S. funds the Israelis to go to school and to have homes. The U.S. doesn't have money for healthcare for all, but the finance minister said that we absolutely have enough money in the coffers to go to another war. The United States government and the government of Western countries does not and will not ever care about human beings. The only interest in the United States State Department and all Western powers is the consolidation and increased growth of their own power and control, their own wealth, and their own influence. The West does not care about anyone, much less people of color or indigenous peoples. We as a people, we as poor people, we as people who were not born rich and will never be rich, are nothing more than a stumbling block. We are nothing more than cogs in a machine to Western powers. There will be no justice for us unless we create it ourselves. We live in a world where the amount of dollars that you make an hour is more important than your life, than your happiness, than your human rights. Free Palestine. Free the world. It's up to us. We are the only ones who can get us out of this situation. I am not much of a praying man. I've never had much use for religion, but I will be praying for the people of Palestine. And I will be praying for the people of the world.